You let me build up my feelings.
Are you stupid? Are you mad? Are you my father? You might be paying me, but dude, you told him that you are too sluggish. You're not going to last in this place, and you're not going to grow in this place. Imagine your director. What do I say? People want to feel validated of some sort. Hi my loves, welcome back to the Vibe Check channel. You already know what you do, the channel where you always have to keep your vibe on a positive check. How have you guys been? How have you been coping with everything that has been happening, from the scarcity of cash to just general hardship in Nigeria? I know that it has been crazy. Yes, it touched everybody, it reached everybody, and I hope that you went out to vote a couple of weeks back, because the power is in our hands as the citizens, as the people. We have the power to choose the government we want, the government we feel works for us. So I hope you went to vote, and in the upcoming elections, I hope you still go out to vote. Don't feel down or sad or bad that things didn't go the way you wanted them to go, and just keep hoping and praying and doing your part as a citizen. I'm pretty sure that lines will continue to fall in pleasant places for us. You get me? So guys, today I want to talk about something. I feel like this is a bit important because a lot of people try to just sweep it under the carpet and all that, but I feel like it's a vital part of the society, and it affects us one way or the other. If you are working, yes, so it affects you one way or the other. So today I want to talk about myself, you as a youth. How do you cope in a toxic workspace? Also guys, please don't forget to subscribe if you've not already subscribed. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you're old here, if you're returning, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, because you guys are the real MVPs, you're the real OGs. Thank you for constantly coming back. So just don't forget to subscribe, watch other videos, don't forget to like them, don't forget to share them, and don't forget to keep your vibe on a positive check. So back to what I was saying. I would like to quickly, in a few minutes, talk about myself, you as a youth working in a toxic workspace. How do you deal with that, or how do you cope with working in a toxic workspace? Okay, so basically, I don't know. I don't think anybody can cope working in a toxic workspace. We as youth, with the Gen Z and I can't remember the other, age groups, what they call them, I think millennials and stuff like that. Maybe not, okay, yeah, the millennials and the Gen Z, we don't have that, we don't have such a high threshold, if I should say, for pain. And when I mean pain, I mean you're in an environment where you feel like you're giving everything you are supposed to give, you're giving everything you're meant to give, and the environment is just not conducive for you. You feel like you're doing a lot, and it's not appreciated. They are trying to maybe dampen your spirits, and I feel like in some way that kind of affects your productivity, your effectiveness. I personally have a story of my own. I cannot function in a toxic workspace. Like, I can't. I'll give a short story. I used to work somewhere sometime last year. I worked there for just a few months, and when I started off, the guys seemed good, great. All these one-man businesses, they're always scary. The guy seemed good, he seemed great, everything seemed fine, everything seemed okay. And I had worked for like 4 months, and after some time, this guy just stopped paying me, stopped taking my calls, and I tried my best to do what I was supposed to do. My work was tasking, it was tedious, but I pulled through. Every day I would show up, I would do my beats, and sometimes I would do extra. Like work with person no send me, I go join them, I go do them. Do you get? And the guy just ceased communications with me, and it was crazy. Like I would call him, because even after he was not paying me, I was still going to work. That affected my productivity, because what money would I use to do the work? And I had to go out, for trainings and stuff like that. So I was like, it was a no-no for me. At some point, I spoke to my sister and a couple of friends and my parents, and I just had to, resign, and I just left the guy to God because I was like, yo, I can't be dragging this salary. It's either you pay me or you don't, regardless of whatever you want to do. God is in control, and I'm here today. I mean, I've survived. I didn't die. You get me? So I personally cannot cope in a toxic workspace. Like, I can't deal. Like, it would so mess with my productivity that I would feel like I'm useless in such a place. This leads me to something else. No matter how much they are paying me, now I am talking personally. If you have similar experiences or experiences in a toxic workspace, yeah, just don't forget to put them down in the comment section. I would really, really love to read your experiences and see if they relate to mine, because you know, Nigeria would mess you up. Yes, like, we always complain about the government, but I feel like charity begins at home. Sometimes the problem is from the root, which is with the people. I mean, you see what's happening. Some people are voting people that they feel they will benefit, that will be beneficiary to them. They feel that they will benefit from such people, when you're supposed to vote for the good of the greater, like for the greater good, for the good of the country, like for the collective good of everybody. So regardless of how much they decide to entice me with, if I'm in a place where I feel like my mental health is in question, like every day I wake up, you know, on my way to work, as I wake up, I'm like, do I really want to do this? You know, I'm bathing, I'm brushing, I'm doing everything I'm doing before I go to work. I'm like, do I really want to do this? I keep questioning myself. You can't thrive in such a place. We as human beings, we don't thrive where we feel kind of, you know, with the thing with toxicity is that it kind of puts this kind of fear in your mind, because as you're going to work, you'll be afraid. You'll be like, okay, what will happen today? What will they do to me? What will my boss say? What will my colleagues do? You know, that will make me feel some type of way that would affect my mental health. And as you go to work, your mind will be cutting. Your mind will be cutting. So you cannot be effective. You can't be productive. No, because according to my mother, it's not because like it is what it is. Like, no two ways about it. So I feel like in the workspace, toxicity can come from either your boss or your colleagues. You have a boss who, no matter what you do, he's never satisfied. He can never, you know, as a human being, or I feel like as you have a company and you have staff, there are few things you're supposed to do to your staff that will make them feel appreciated, and their productivity will shoot up no matter what. You're supposed to encourage them. You know, you do something, yes, it's their job. Oh, this was well done, nice. Well, even if you want to give criticism, make sure the criticism is constructive. Not that you're telling somebody, are you stupid, are you mad? Are you my father? You might be paying me, but dude, you did not train me from when I started going to school up till now for you to talk to me in this manner. Like, do you get? So some people are not even, they are not empathetic towards their fellow human beings, regardless of whatever position you might hold. So you can always give words of encouragement. Oh, this was nicely done. You know, people want to feel, you know, what do I say? People want to feel, you know, validated of some sort. Yes, it might sound stupid, but you're working for somebody and this person recognizes the work you're doing. Do you know that feeling? Ah, this was a great job. Wow, nice teamwork. You know, you would want to do more, regardless of whatever. Make sure that that's the first thing you're doing. If these kind of things are lacking, just know that you're in a toxic workspace. If you, no matter what you do, your boss cannot tell you, oh, well done, oh, great job, oh, good job, oh, this. Even if he wants to give you criticism, let it be constructive. Not that he's making you feel less of yourself, or she's making you feel less of yourself. Also, make sure that you're paying your staff well. Make sure they get their 13th month. Make sure they get, you know, paternity leave allowances, maternity leave allowances. Just make sure they are financially, they are okay. Do you get? Also, make sure that you give your staff time off. Let there be leaves, let there be paternity leaves, maternity leaves, sick leave, travel holiday. It actually makes them more productive, because by the time you take off a day, 2 days to go and rest, you come back, you're rejuvenated, you want to do more, you want to act on, you know, even things where they don't send you, go they do. So make sure that you do these 3 things, and if these 3 things are missing from a workspace, then my dear, you are working in a toxic place. So if you have a boss, like I said, toxicity can come from your boss. So if you have a boss who does not appreciate you, you know, no matter what you do, even if you're doing it right, you always find something wrong to say, oh, this is rubbish, this is trash. if I were you, I would leave, because me, left for me, I can't stay in such a place. Like, I will not stay in such a place. And also, toxicity can come from your colleagues. Maybe you always feel left out. They are doing things, they never invite you, they are talking, you're just always, you're like an outcast. Even when you're like, oh, how fun and what's happening, you're like, you've heard something and you want to ask, okay, so what's this thing about? Like, I don't really know, ask this person, and everybody just dribbling, just treating you like that. You can feel like shit. Like, sometimes you would want to end it all, just because you feel like these people don't value you enough. You feel like you're not wanted in that particular place. So I'll have this story here. Before I get close to rounding up, I have this story. I know, like I said, I have a story to tell. Someone told it to me, and I feel like that's like a very apt example of a toxic workspace, because the way the person felt after the whole situation, person felt like nothing, basically. So, okay, there's this guy. He went to seek employment somewhere, and they looked at his CV and everything and felt he was great for the job, and they made him the head of department. They made him head of a particular department. And instead of the boss to communicate to him at some point that his productivity level has dropped, as a good boss, as an empathetic boss, as a human being in general, you notice that someone was doing well before, and all of a sudden, just started regressing in the person's productivity or the person's effectiveness. And instead of you to say something about it, call the person, talk to the person, ask the person if everything is good, if everything is fine. You just leave it, for the person to speculate. So the guy was doing well, and I feel like at some point maybe his productivity dropped because of probably issues at home and stuff like that, and he got demoted. Like, 3 places down. And this person was so down, was telling the person, I know that he feels so frustrated, he feels like he can't, he feels like he's not appreciated here, and he doesn't think he's going to stay like for a very long time. He called a particular month, said he was going to leave. Another example, somebody who was working somewhere, his direct boss told him that you are too sluggish, you're not going to last in this place, and you're not going to grow in this place. Imagine your direct boss, someone that you probably look up to, someone that you have to see every day, telling you that kind of thing. In fact, the guy almost cried. He left and he went to start up his own business, and by the grace of God, like, his first million saw it from his own business. So I mean, you don't give words of encouragement, you don't make people feel good about themselves. You try to dampen people's spirits, you try to make people feel less of themselves. That is not, first of all, that's never the quality of a good leader. Secondly, that is you're making the place toxic for your staff, like, and you expect them to overdo or even perform normally. They cannot, because they don't feel appreciated. Like I said earlier, people want to feel validated, by people they work with, by their bosses. They want to feel appreciated. So if you can't appreciate, if you cannot say, oh, good work, oh, nice work, even if you want to, I keep reiterating, even if you want to give criticism, let it be constructive. Don't try to break people down. So, I mean, I wouldn't say you should leave a toxic workspace. That's left for you to decide, because it's not easy getting jobs in Nigeria nowadays. But for me, I can't stay. So, I mean, you have to weigh your options and see how, if you can manage there while trying to get something better, which is one other reason why you should make sure that you keep trying to gain skills, knowledge. Because regardless of whatever, you remain in a place where they are treating you anyhow because you think you can't make it outside. Gain knowledge, gain skills, and nobody will mess with you, because once you feel like, that's why I said Gen Z, like millennials, we can't take nonsense, we can't take rubbish. I've heard a lot of stories where, Gen Z, you go there, you start working, 1 week you leave, you sign your resignation, you say, you people are treating me anyhow. So, that's one aspect. And that kind of person, you can't be productive, you can't be effective. Everything you're doing, like I said, you're just going to be marking register. You're not going to be happy. You're just going to be doing it just because. Not because you want to, or because you love it. You know how something might not be your passion, but because of the environment you're doing it in, you will grow to love it so much so that they will think this is what you actually wanted to do with your life. So I personally cannot function in a toxic workspace, basically because it would really mess with my productivity. Like, I would feel as a human being, no matter what you say, oh, I have strong will, I have this, well, let people just mess with you first. You will just know that, hey, God, I don't think I can do this. You just know that the mind of the human being is so soft that no matter how hard guy you prove to be, once this kind of things happen to you, maybe your boss never appreciates you, or you're feeling left out, you know, it's such a toxic environment that people are always gossiping about you, or just things that, you know how toxicity is. It comes in different forms and different levels, and you're feeling like that in a workspace, you can never ever be productive. It is not a cause, and that is fact. That is on period. So if you ever find yourself in a toxic workspace, please leave. Yes, it might be that, oh, you're just managing because of the money or whatever, but your mental health is more important, because if you go to a place where it becomes kind of normal to you, and when you now go to a place where people actually show love in the office, you know, it's like a family, it's inclusive, you'll be looking at it like, waiting be this, you get. But that's actually how it's meant to be, that's how it's supposed to be. So if you're a leader, please do not bring about toxicity in your workspace. If you're a colleague and you feel like there's somebody you guys just, as if you are in high school, you just derive pleasure from messing with, you know, you make the person feel less of the person's self, you don't include the person, even if you don't like the person, just be cordial. You're working with this person, be cordial, that is all. You don't need to be best friends. Oh, good morning, you want to talk to the person, you talk normally, you're not talking with anger in your voice as if the person stepped on your toes or something. Well, basically, for me personally, I can't work in a place, in an environment that is toxic. I can't even stay in an environment that is toxic, be it like in friendships or normal relationships or whatever. I cannot. So I would advise, and I know you guys already know, if you're in a toxic workspace, please, like, I left where I was working, and by the grace of God, I got a better job, a better offer. So why would I remain, or why should I remain? And then now my workload is not even as much as it was then. Like, I have time to work from home, chill, relax. I'm doing this on a weekday. I mean, do you get me? So to tell you how much time I have to actually work and everything is good, we have it doesn't take away the time I actually have to put into my work. So I wouldn't work in a toxic workspace. I hope you would not settle for less to work in a toxic workspace, a place that messes with your mental health. Anyway, I have done a lot of ranting. Just let me know in the comment section if you've ever worked in a toxic workspace. Just, you know, you can also just share your ideas with us about this topic. Let us know what you think. I would be glad to read your comments. And also, please don't forget to subscribe if you've not subscribed, and don't forget to keep your vibe, you know, don't forget to continue to keep your vibe on a positive check. Lastly, I want to say, please, anything you're supposed to do, your duty, your obligation as a citizen, do it, because at the end of the day, we are fighting for a better Nigeria, and I know that everything is going to be all right. So guys, until next time, my name is Jessam, I guess. All right guys, bye. Love you guys.